First of all, congratulations on the film. Saw it for the first time last night. Had a wonderful time watching it. Really great stuff. And now, for a director in Hollywood, the appeal to direct a Marvel film is obvious. But what was it about Ant-Man, particularly for you, that made you want to tell this guy's story?
I grew up reading Marvel comics and loving Ant-Man, and I love that he's kind of an underdog character. In the comics, he was a founding member of the Avengers, but he always had this kind of inferiority complex because, you know, his power was to shrink, and he kind of was the object of a little bit of ridicule. And I love that and being able to play with that idea in the movie version. I particularly loved it that we had Paul Rudd at the center of it playing that character. And it made sense because Paul's such an everyman of an actor. The audiences relate to him, and he reacts in the same way that you or I would react to, you know, this suit and this shrinking and the ants and stuff. It's just bizarre, and I think that's what makes the movie fun.
You know, I was talking to Kevin Feige a while ago, and we were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, and he wanted really Chris Pratt to bring some of his personality into Star-Lord. And what became really obvious from the get-go of this movie was that you guys really wanted Paul to infuse a lot of Paul Rudd into the character. How much of what we finally saw on the screen there was Paul Rudd? How much of it was what we actually had on the page?
I think it's a combination. Well, you know, Paul, in addition to being the lead actor, was also one of the screenwriters.
Right.
And it was great because we were, by the time we got the shooting, we were very in sync about not only his character, but the tone of the movie. You know, it had to be fun and fast. You know, there are real stakes in the movie, and there's a real personal, you know, dueling father-daughter story to it. But we really wanted it to be fun, and we wanted it to be emotional. But if it started to get too emotional, we wanted to kind of puncture it with some comedy. And so we were very in sync, you know, in terms of the tone of it. And Paul, I think, again, it's impossible for me to imagine anybody else playing Ant-Man because he has that sort of self-deprecating thing that works for the character.
One of the great things that Marvel has done recently with their films is that every film seems to have its very, while they all feel like Marvel films, they all have their own unique thumbprint. They all have their own, whether it's a space opera or a political thriller or whatever.
Yeah.
This film is clearly a great heist film, and I love that. And you were able to find a balance without making it a non-stop action film of fun, entertainment, excitement when you needed it. What was the key in this movie to striking the right balance in all of that?
Well, we constantly were working on the script. And the shooting style, you know, I wanted it to be really kinetic and have a lot of movement to it. And there are a lot of characters to deal with. It's an origin story. But at the center of it, you know, it had to have kind of a wink to it. I'm a huge fan of heist movies. And there's a way that there's a rhythm to those movies. And there's, this character does this one does this. They all have their roles. And you know as they go along, something's going to go wrong and they have to adjust. And it's part of the fun puzzle of a heist movie is how all those characters interlock. So that was a challenge in the writing stage and also just bringing it to life. But with this cast, it was easy to do.
Well, Peyton, congratulations. You made a really great film, and we can't wait to have it on AMC screens.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.